Welcome to the Nevcast, where three bros talk business, art, justice, and the pursuit of Jesus.
Any day above ground is a good day.
Get ready to laugh, cry, and kiss 30 minutes goodbye with Peter Nevland,
Dave Nevland,
and
Rashi.
Hey,
Rashi, can
Hey.
you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Nevcast.
we're getting real creative now.
We've done it so many times, the same way. We just gotta,
Dave, that was genius.
I'm glad you followed my finger.
It was brilliant. Don't say that very often. I
didn't
makes
say
me
pull my finger.
Feel a little bit.
I went like this,
yucky.
and you knew.
I feel yucky.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, we have somebody special, Rashi. You can't see him, but he's here with us.
That's true.
Alex. Or
Skutarenko.
do you prefer Oleksii?
Well, I prefer Alex because usually nobody can pronounce my name.
Wait, so you got to say it.
Okay,
So I say it Oleksii. And
Oleksii?
the way you put it on paper is Oleksii.
Oleksii.
Yes, and so when Americans see K in front of S, it just doesn't work for them.
Really?
Because
It totally makes sense to me.
it's phonetic.
Well, if you put K in front of S, it's better. It's easier to use X rather than KS.
I hear you.
It's
Yeah.
the same.
And so when people see K in front of S, they're just like, oh, that's wrong. I need to fix that. SK. So they call me Oleksii, Alexis.
Oh, right.
Some people call me O. And
It's like Chipotle instead of Chipotle.
oh, is it? Okay.
That's a little text.
So
mix
Oleksii.
for there.
And how?
Oleksii.
Yeah, Oleksii. And how do you pronounce the manchaka? What is that?
Yeah. Well, most of the time, Austin, we say manchac, but it should have been manchaka.
Menchaca.
Well,
Manchaka.
But don't tell the people who live in Manchac.
Right. Yeah, that's also.
Yeah, my Google said menkaka.
Menkaka. Yeah,
That's
says
what
now.
Google says?
Yeah,
Menkaka,
yeah.
so does Waze. Waze says Menkaka now.
Rashi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, have you ever met? I don't know that you've met Alex or Oleksii from the Ukraine.
Yeah.
He's Ukrainian. He's here with
Oh,
us today.
okay, from Ukraine. Okay. I thought you said Alex Trebek or something like that. I thought that's
No.
what you said.
Yeah, but you
That
have
would be an
met. Have you
amazing-
met Alex Trebek?
Well, that would be an amazing podcast if we had.
I thought
from the
that's what you
grave.
said. I remember seeing his name on TV, Alex Trebek, but now that you said it's from Ukraine, no, I think that Alex Trebek is American.
Yeah, Alex, and he's also not alive anymore.
No, but is his ethnicity Ukrainian? Trebek.
Alex Trebek?
That sounds Czech.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be more like Czechoslovakia. I mean, it's like
That's
not
right.
not quite that far east.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Czech whenever.
Well, so I noticed, Alex, that you have a coat on. Are you cold? What?
Yeah, I have to take my jacket everywhere because, Americans turn AC all the way down,
Yes.
and it's not really comfortable. I don't know how you handle that.
Now you
in
say
t-shirt.
you say Americans
Yeah.
as if like everyone is like Texas.
Well, I don't know. I only lived in Texas. I've been here for
you go.
about 11 years.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
yeah, I still cannot get used to these like 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Texas
I
is a
understand. Well, I mean,
great
it's
example.
70 here. It's to keep us from falling asleep. But
It is? Okay.
yeah, no, it's crazy. When I went to Thailand for 3 months in 1999, and I remember so they didn't have any AC most of the places, but then you would go to a mall and they would have AC in the mall, and it felt weird. It
Yeah.
was so cold, and there were certain guys that they would say, "Oh no, I don't go to the mall," and I was like, "Why don't you go to the mall?" It was like, "Oh,
The air is bad.
aircon's bad. It'll like mess you up, you know." And I think the sudden change from the 95 degrees, 100% humidity,
Right.
to 70 degrees
And dry.
and 60% humidity would mess with people. Sometimes people would get a cold or something. Yeah. So you wear a jacket everywhere.
Yeah, just in case.
I just noticed. I was like, it's getting warm now.
Well, when it gets warm, I will take it off.
There you go. There we go.
Easy.
All right, so Oleksii, you were born
Oleksii.
Oleksii.
Well, you can just say Alex.
Okay, Alex.
You got the Alex. Laugh at him, Rashi. Laugh at him.
Okay, Alex, you were born in the Ukraine.
Yes.
What year? Well, we don't have to know your age, but I mean, okay. So, were you
my
born?
social security.
Let's say, were you born previous to 1991?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in USSR.
So you were not born in the Ukraine. You were born in the
Well, he was born in the
Union of
Ukraine.
Soviet
I was born in
Socialist
Ukraine.
Republic.
Whatever,
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever those guys were
Right.
calling it, it wasn't true.
Right. But
That's an interesting point
see
right
that?
there.
Boom. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. But well, how? I mean, you remember the changeover.
Well, yes.
You remember how it was before the changeover.
So I was born in '83.
Okay.
Don't start calculating my age.
No, so you were 8 or 9. I mean,
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah. So I was like 8 or 9. I remember time before
Yep.
the crash. I remember time after and during. Of course, it's not like I had a job or like
Right.
I lost some savings or whatever.
Right.
But I remember desperation and I remember long lines. I remember nothing in the store except like juice and pickles.
now,
Juice and pickles.
Now,
Yeah, that's all freedom.
Juice
That's
and
how
pickles.
Gatorade
You
was
said-
born.
yeah, it's true.
Juice
That's
and
the same
pickles.
thing, juice and pickles. But you called it the crash.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, I remember desperation. I remember long lines. Was the desperation and the long lines before during the crash, or was it also before? Since the earliest memories that you had.
Earliest memories I had, they are not like tied to anything in particular. Like,
Okay.
I don't remember much. Usually you remember like disturbing things or something that is way out of ordinary.
Ordinary, yeah,
Yes.
out of the ordinary.
Yeah. So I don't have like memories like that, but yeah, I remember times like when you had some money, like, right? Everybody had money. Pretty much everybody had the same amount of money.
Right?
If you
that
had
was the
more,
goal.
if you had more than others, you were like sort of an enemy, and you can end up very badly.
Or you worked for the government.
What do you
yeah.
mean end up very badly? Like
Well, in Soviet Union, it wasn't like around my time, when I was a kid, but it was before, and this is like a common knowledge. It's like people know it, and
You think that is common knowledge.
Oh yeah, for Ukrainians and Russians and whatever. Yeah.
But people a lot younger than us do not know this.
Yeah. So the thing is this: like, if your neighbor lives better than you, they might be a spy, like American spy, and you need to report them. Well,
oh wow.
Well, I never reported or anybody from my family, but there were people who were reporting their neighbor. It was like long before I was born, but yeah, you can, if you don't like your neighbor, like, you can report them, and they would have a big trouble.
Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes like the stories, like I remember they were like crazy. So somebody saw their neighbor having a watermelon. Basically, they saw it in the trash. The
watermelon rind.
Yeah, you ate the watermelon and you throw a trash away, and somebody saw that, like you had a watermelon. Come on, nobody can afford a watermelon. Wow. So you are a spy.
Wow.
This is just crazy. And
Right.
yeah, it's
So you teach everybody
Wow.
not to hope,
yeah,
not
don't-
to aspire to something more,
like tie your trash bags.
Or tie your
or
trash bags.
hide.
Yeah, hide them under your bed or whatever.
Don't hope for something better, or hide.
Consume everything you can.
Conceal everything that you possibly can, which
Yeah.
is that's not a fun way to live.
And
Well,
then and then you called it the crash.
yeah. Also, fun fact: we had only Russian car manufacturers or whatever.
Right. That's
Lada.
right. The Trabant.
And-
The Trabant. the
No,
Tra-
that's
East,
Germany.
Yeah,
Trabi.
yeah, we had after Vaz.
Lada.
I think. Well, yeah, you had we had. I don't think you had Lada back then, but you had Zhiguli and Volga. By the way,
Volga.
all cars were stolen from, like, all the designs were stolen from
Italy.
Yeah,
The
Italy
Fiat.
and
The
yeah,
Lada is
yeah.
the Fiat
Yeah.
164 or something like that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, they still produce them.
They still
Sure.
produce them.
by the same design. You
Right,
know?
right. The
Yeah.
Italians could be rich by now.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. What
Yeah.
what city were you born in?
So I was born in Odessa. Yeah, you were
Odessa.
talking
Odessa.
about crash. So for me, how crash looked like, I got carried away because Yeah, it's very hard to follow for me.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
so
Okay.
so basically, I remember we had the same amount of money, and I remember I came to the store to buy, I think it was sugar, and in addition to the money, we also had like a sheet of paper where you had these like you had to cut out like a squarish ticket,
Yeah.
like a something like a food stamp or whatever.
Right, like kind of
But-
ration.
Yeah, Russian, but it said like 1 kilo of sugar, and so you cannot buy more than it's on your paper. Nowadays, you would be able to copy that piece of paper, whatever.
Right.
It was such a poorly like made, you know.
You didn't even have a printer.
Yeah,
You couldn't even
we
copy
could-
your
yeah,
ration
Yeah, it was
card.
way before that. Yeah, but yeah, I saw that. I saw nothing in stores. I saw long lines for bread. Also, there were like lines for something, and if you see a line for something at any store, you just go there and stand, and it means something good is there. Something good. You have to take your place. You don't know what it is, and if you ask people, they don't know either. But because you see the line, it's like it's worth being there. And but if you had like if you knew the guy who or the
So a
girl,
line is a good thing.
yeah, line is a good thing.
not
you
something
see it,
to
go
avoid.
go there. Yeah, you might get something, and you have no idea what it is. It's like surprised. You might get like I don't know, like socks. Maybe they're
Socks.
selling socks, or juice and pickles, or what, I don't know,
Juice and pickles.
or like oil for your car, like, whatever. You have no idea. You just go there.
I'm laughing, but it's sad.
It's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So the crash. So when you say the crash, what you mean is the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and that was pretty bad for the for adults. Kids had no idea what is going on, except we had a lot of money we can play with. We had stockpiles of money. The money just suddenly in one day they lost all their value.
Right.
And so we were just building whatever, using coins for our games. Nobody would accept them. Nobody would trade them. Also, what they
How the
did.
heck?
So we had something like 401k. Well, it wasn't like 401k, but it was something where parents would put money in. It's not like investment, but it's like saving, because whatever you can use like to buy a car or for your kid's wedding, or everybody was like you. I don't think you can buy a property. I think you could only get it from the government, but
Right.
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But basically, I remember how our older generation, they lost everything overnight, all the savings. Just imagine you wake up and all your savings are gone, your 401k, your stocks, options, like you name it, like everything gone, because there was only like a one bank.
Right.
And suddenly somebody just cashed out and escaped, and you cannot have anything. Also, like people were like standing in line. Oh well, it's not standing, but they were waiting for their like condos or flats, or how you call that, like not houses, but
An apartment.
Yeah,
An
like
apartment,
apartment.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So usually you receive those from government, and the queue was like, the line was about like 20 years or 10 years, or like if you have like 5 kids, you can get it faster. If you like like if you have disabilities, you might also get it faster.
Right.
So when crash happened, all of that stopped. And
Right.
and for people it was very hard, because now you cannot own a property, you cannot buy anything, you have no money, and a lot of people lost their jobs. There started like basically there is no owners of factories, or like there is no owners. Government was the owner. There is no government, and whatever whoever comes there first gets it. And criminals started like going there and selling everything, like just tearing the factories apart, selling parts to other
Wow.
countries, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Soviet Union was built in a way that, like, to build something, you produce parts in different countries, and once it crashed, and people started like stealing and disassembling those manufacturers, then nobody can produce anything. So there was a pretty dark era of criminal like stuff, and
How long did
did-
that?
yeah.
How long did that happen? I mean,
well,
that
we call it
last?
90s.
The 90s. It was just the 90s, so the decade.
I'm not sure how long. What I remember, like basically, my mom had to work like on 3 jobs. We could not afford anything. We could I don't think I have one one time in my life, my mom took me to the restaurant and we ate chicken with the ketchup. It was the only one time I was in a restaurant.
One time that you go to a restaurant
and
you
I
ate,
remember the
it was
chicken
with ketchup.
Yes, and you had to eat the whole thing because like you cannot just afford to throw it away. It's like one time in my life I was in a restaurant.
Oh my goodness!
That was after the crash.
Well, yeah, I think. Well, well, I have only one memory of it.
Yes, okay.
And
It
it
doesn't
tasted.
matter.
And
It's
it
not
tasted-
like you go to Chick-fil-A, you know, like
Right,
every day or whatever. Yeah, only.
So you
yeah.
remember the taste of that chicken?
I do. It was very good. It was
it
the
fried chicken?
best chicken ever.
Was it fried chicken?
It was like grilled.
Okay, yeah, like rotisserie,
it was
kind of
really good,
rotisserie
very good.
chicken.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
you didn't get chicken at home.
Usually, like we would buy like meat on bones. We could not afford like this
Like
steak
a whole,
or whatever. Like
okay.
tenderly, how you call this thing? Like you cannot afford
Tenderloin.
it. Tenderloin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's like
So this was
No.
like a rotisserie chicken that was grilled.
Yeah. Right.
well,
and it was
just normal chicken, whatever,
Tender.
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, you just get it like you.
Baked
Well,
Can,
but I'm
chicken.
saying like you got at the restaurant, you got
Yeah.
like this whole chicken that was
Yeah.
so it was like
yeah.
Right. Oh,
nice,
gotcha.
really tender and
Yes.
really juicy and yummy.
Yes. And I guess that was first time I tried ketchup as well. So
oh ketchup, yes.
Yeah.
Tomatoes,
Tomatoes.
tomatoes plus sugar.
And then you did have. There were a lot of
Well-
tomatoes, right?
Well,
Tomatoes and cucumbers.
Well, yeah. So Ukraine has a very good soil, and Ukraine produces a lot of veggies and fruits.
Okay.
But yeah, all this fancy stuff like ketchup, it's like it has to be the whatever
Yeah.
American and Soviet Union wasn't very supportive, of American stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Kinda.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how did the Ukraine becomes a separate country?
Yep.
They just spin it off,
Yes.
and you just guys got to sort of fend for yourselves, and
Yep.
And find your own way. How long did it take before the Ukraine comes back and is kind of on its feet again as a nation?
Well, yeah, can't tell you exactly because when I was a kid, I was not into like
Sure.
how well the government is,
Of course,
using
of
our
course.
tax money, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Right.
I had no idea. Yeah, but so for me, it started with the Orange Revolution. So with the when there was an election between Yushchenko and Yanukovych. So Yushchenko was pro-West, Yanukovych was pro-Russia, and there were elections, and elections ended up not. So we thought they were illegal, and
You,
this
you
is
thought
what
they were legal or illegal?
we thought they were illegal.
Oh, the elections.
Yeah, so they faked. Basically, how you do that. So before these elections, and like including these elections, how it worked, there were like certain types of schemas that politicians would use, to exploit the system. So bad guys would put like, let's say, buses full of people and just like go around the country and vote everywhere, and like stuff like that. So they would do.
Stuff that they don't do in America.
Of course, never. Never happened here.
Well,
Yeah,
it does happen here.
Well,
Well, not quite to that level.
Not to that
well,
level.
yeah.
Supposedly.
I know. Yeah, I've seen a couple of elections already here. Yeah, of course, a lot of people are angry and all of that. But yeah, that's on a different level. That's like the magnitude of that. But so the bad guys do that. So if the good guy wants to win, they have to cheat as well. And so that's the. So then you lose the line between good and bad.
Right.
Because you just like everybody lies, and yes, you lie for good, but like is it normal? Yeah. So during the that time, so I was in my university, and so elections ended up badly, and of course they were illegal because everything was like everybody was cheating, whatever. But I don't remember entirely, but that was the moment where everybody thought that we don't want to be we don't want to be associated with the pro-Russian mentality. Like we don't want that. We don't want to live in the country where everything is unfair, where you have to pay to get something and bribe. So bribing became normal. Like if you go to government like organization for something, you have to bribe. Yeah. If you don't bribe, you don't get anything. That's right. And everything was organized the way that for anything you need to get a government sort of validation or whatever. So for anything. So it was common practice, and we got tired of this. We got tired that nobody would fix our roads, or nobody has money. Like my mom had to work 3 jobs, and you just and barely made it, and so we all thought if we go in the western direction, that would give us some sort of that would change everything. And because we had no idea about anything, those 2 people were suggestion, except the Yushchenko was thinking in terms of going west, and Yanukovych was thinking in terms going towards
East.
Russia. Yeah,
north.
Yeah. Whatever direction Russia was.
It's everywhere. East and north.
We started what was called Pomeranian Revolution. So basically Orange Revolution.
The Orange Revolution.
Yeah, and we were protesting. We were waving these orange flags, and this was the first time when I see our society divided, because a lot of them were wearing blue ribbons, and these was the first times where my parents would be against me, and because they thought we're just crazy. Why do we need to go to our enemies on the west when Russia is what is everything we know? We just have to stick together. Yeah. So the older population was always in favor of Russian mindset, and the younger generation was completely against. We didn't want to repeat that.
You were part of these protests?
Yeah.
At the university?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was also in Odessa, where you would not see a lot of pro-Ukrainian people. So Odessa is Russian-speaking. Primarily, it was Russian-speaking population.
It's near Crimea. That's near the Black Sea. Is that?
Well, it's on the Black Sea. It's near Romania and Moldova, but Crimea is kind of close by the sea.
Right.
But if you drive, it's long ride. But it was almost everybody spoke Russian, and when Russians say discrimination of Russian-speaking population, that was completely opposite. If you speak during those times Ukrainian in Odessa, everybody would think you're a redneck or whatever. You don't belong here. Everybody speaks Russian here.
So it's the Russians, the Russian people who were actually oppressing.
Well, I would not say Russians, but Russian-speaking.
Russian-speaking people would put down the Ukrainians, kind of like in, I guess it was in Afghanistan. You had the 2 people groups in Afghanistan. I can't remember their names now off the top of this, the Uyghurs and or something. Anyway, and it was the Taliban is actually one people group. The Pashtun is the Taliban, and then the lesser people group is this other people group that they kind of come against. But anyway, so you had that happening in Odessa. And then what part of Ukraine is more Ukrainian?
So Western Ukraine is more Ukrainian. Okay. And Kiev was sort of always in the middle.
That's Kiev. We think of Kiev.
So it's Kiev. Yeah, Kiev.
Kiev, yeah,
Kiev.
okay.
So Kiev was always in the middle. Every time I would go there, I would hear people speaking Russian and Ukrainian, and you can freely speak any of these languages.
It's easy to determine the difference between Russian and Ukrainian, or are they very similar?
Well, they sound similar.
Do they both use the Cyrillic alphabet?
Yeah. Although Ukrainian language has some fancy letters, So if you want to compare that, so Russian is more sounds more like Germanish. So Ukrainian is Italian. So Ukrainian is melodic and
interesting. Okay.
A little freer flowing.
Cool. And Russian is more direct and
almost harsh.
Harsh. Yes. Okay. Yes, like that. I would say. That's my opinion.
Like the weather in Russia.
It's
cold everywhere, but
so the good thing, my grandma was always speaking Ukrainian, so I lived with my grandma, and
so can you say something in Ukrainian that would give us an illustration of the difference between Ukrainian language and Russian language?
I don't know. Just what do you want to hear?
Well,
I went to buy a car last week.
So I went to buy a car last week. In Russian would be на прошлой неделе я пошел и купил машину. In Ukrainian it would be минулого тижня я поїхав та купив собі автомобіль.
Oh, okay. All right. I can hear it. So I can hear in the Russian, I hear more zh and buh. kind of stuff, and then the Ukrainians more.
Something like that. You would hear more like. So a lot of words are kind of the same, but a lot of words are different, and so what we believe, like Ukrainian, it's not. It's more like also common knowledge is that Soviet Union just wanted to get rid of Ukrainian language as other like Soviet republic languages. So they wanted to have like Russian everywhere. So they were like sending our writers to camps in Siberia, or killing them, and so basically they want to destroy the culture, and then of course a lot of words were like maybe borrowed from Russian, and so there are a lot of similarities, but yeah. So I don't know if you check my Facebook or whatever. So we decided with my wife to stop we call this Russification. It's Russifications where they basically said you have to speak Russian. So if you don't speak Russian, you won't be able to get to university. You won't be able to get a good job. You won't be able to do anything.
That's even after the crash?
No, that's before. That's
Before the crash.
Before the crash.
Okay.
And so this is why my grandparents were speaking like Ukrainian, and my parents are speaking Russian, and I speak Russian. But we decided we will stop this in reverse. So we will go Ukrainian. It's.
You've decided that in your family.
Yes, in my family.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are deciding this now as well. So, but yeah. Sorry, I don't remember where we started from.
Right. No, I'm just getting the timeline.
It's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of.
There's so many things to take in. It's this whole new world.
Yeah.
For us, like for us, we talk about in our minds, it's basically Russia's doing bad things to Ukraine. We don't really understand why.
Yeah.
We don't know the whole history.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what we want to know, because to talk about justice for Ukrainians means more than just stop the fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was. Yes, it's a bigger picture, right?
Justice means justice means the healing of your story.
Yeah. So the context is wider. So like sometimes people judge by only like, oh, EU should have helped. Oh, Russia should not invade. But what's the context of this? Like so all of this time.
Hey, right before the context, when did you come to the United States?
So about like 11 years ago.
So 2011.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were married before that, right?
Yeah.
You and your wife came.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any kids when you came. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We had not.
So they're born in the United States.
I remember meeting you back then.
Yeah. So all my kids are.
So they speak.
citizens.
Your children speak English and they speak Ukrainian.
Oh well, they mostly speak English and sometimes they speak Russian because we're like kind of decided to switch right now. So
now
now you're decided to switch.
Yeah,
so
it would take some time.
I want to go back to something you said. There was an orange revolution.
Yes.
But I noticed that the Ukrainian flag is blue and yellow.
Yeah.
What's the significance of blue and yellow
and orange?
And orange.
Well, blue and yellow is the sky, clear sky, and the wheat. The fields are full of wheat because
of grain.
Grain. Yeah, we produce a lot of grain.
You're the breadbasket for Russia.
For basically everybody.
Everybody in
and
Europe.
you might feel it this fall. Then there's going to be a shortage on the market.
That's what Biden said 2 days ago.
Yeah,
we're gonna have food shortages. He said.
Yeah, and but if you're gonna have food shortage in U.S., can you imagine what are you gonna have in Africa or
Yeah.
But just so you know, Ukrainians under the bullets right now. They are still. They started the season. They are planting seeds and they are risking their lives. So that doesn't happen. So Ukraine has a very good soil. I think it's the number one country in the amount of this like black whatever soil. I don't know how to translate this.
Loam. Topsoil, but it's loam or humus.
Yeah, it's that one where you put anything, it grows.
Yes.
And
why is that? Is it just river deposits, or is it glacial deposits, or is it volcanic?
It's like God's grace on our country.
So the blue and yellow is for the blue sky, and the yellow is for the fields of wheat when they're ripe.
Yep.
They're harvested, and it's an indication to you guys of basically the blessing and the richness of of the Ukraine.
Yeah.
That it's almost like representative that the richness is in the land.
Yes.
The land itself is rich, and so the flag is a reminder of that.
Yeah.
That's cool. What about the orange for the
Well,
protest
I honestly
pro-West.
don't know why they picked orange. I think when you have these parties running one against another, they have different colors.
True.
I think what was the name of that party? I forgot. But I think the party of President Yushchenko was they had like orange colors.
They had orange colors. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it like correlation or causation? But
I wonder if maybe it's from Russia was pro-Russia was red.
Russia was so we had a communist party always in Ukraine, and this is where the votes from all our older population would go to, because all the vast majority of grandparents, they wanted to bring Soviet Union back, and a lot of people were thinking that Stalin was a saint, and
Wow.
and just imagine being in Soviet Union. If you find a job, you won't lose it. Like nobody would fire you unless you just do something really really bad. But
Stability.
So there was stability.
Security. Everybody has sort of the same income.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have anything like everybody else, and all of these things were sort of just. I don't have anything, so it's right that you don't have anything. We both don't have anything, so we can be
Equal in misery.
Yeah, exactly. Equal in misery.
That's kind of a Russian mentality.
Yeah, and so a lot of people wanted that back. They didn't want this freedom where you can actually you have responsibility for your own life. So you can start a business, you can make something, and if you fail, it's it's on you. But you can start again. In that mentality is basically governments control everything. If you're a good citizen, then you're good.
And then you have certain people prosper, but when they prosper, they rise, and then they oppress the people that they are employing or whatever. That's been the history.
Yeah.
Now was that the history of Ukraine?
Yeah. So usually when people come to power in Ukraine, they stay there forever.
They stay there forever.
Yeah. So that
was that true pre-Soviet Union also? Pre-Lenin?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm not that old. But
I know you're not that old.
Yeah. There were dark days back then as well. So Russia was also having raids on our land. So we had a military force, Cossacks, who was protecting us and and rendering fear on their kings and whatever. And but then they killed them all. Look, we had repression from them for all our history, and also, by the way, as another part of context, so language is one of that. When you hear the Putin says basically we want Russian to be official language as well. But this is not what we want. We because if you make Russian language official, then it means we will have a lot of Russian-speaking populations, and so he would have another excuse to find to come and smee us from Nazis.
Supposedly
whatever.
free us from Ukrainian.
Yeah. So smart post-Soviet countries they stopped talking Russian immediately.
All right, there's so much going on with this episode. We can't finish it and fit it into this one episode, so we're going to complete it next week. Join us, Nevcast.